What is up, everybody? It is Lawrence from Urban Trekker, and I wasn't gonna do a review on this t-shirt just because it's been a while since it was released. With that said, I believe it was 2 to 3 days ago that Outlier had decided to create not this t-shirt again, which is the Cottonweight Cut 2, but they decided to do a bunch of other ones with Raimi Lust, another one called the Cotton Experiment, which I can't remember at the time, and they also released an ultra-fine merino tee, also done in Cut 2. Why I'm so excited about Cut 2, and for people that don't know what Cut 2 is, so Outlier is a very experimental brand. They try lots of different types of fabrics, and they really create minimalist clothing with very, very heavy tech aspects to it. So think things like shorts that are water repellent, or t-shirts that can, basically are made out of the finest merino wool, so that as you transition from hot to cold, the t-shirt both shrinks as well as loosens up based on how much heat retention you might need as a person. So that's kind of the background on the brand, and the design ethos is loved by many. But for the most part, Outlier is not designed for my body type, and so it's really honestly designed for the tall, lanky, Model S type person. And I don't obviously fit into that specific mold, but I still really, really like their stuff. So taking a step back, what is Cut 2 versus Cut 1? I had to educate myself before I bought any of the Cut 2s. Cut 2 is basically a much more compact yet boxy fit. And so when you're thinking about it, instead of long and thin, you have the material that is a little bit further out, and so stretch out a little bit in terms of width, and it's a little bit shorter as well. And so what's great about that for people like me is you finally have a t-shirt that isn't completely designed for somebody that looks oversized because of how long the sleeves are, how long the length of the body is, and stuff like that. So for me, Cut 2 is really the only way to go. I had to learn this through trial and error. So hopefully people who have similar builds to me, whether or not you're tall and lanky or short and stout, you'll know exactly which one to buy. So I basically sworn off any of the Outlier t-shirts and things like that, unless they were Cut 2. In terms of material composition, it's made out of 49% merino wool, 46% cotton, and 5% nylon, and it's 220 grams per square meter, which is a measure of the weight of the actual product. A 220 gram, I don't know the exact numbers and how they actually fit out in the world. I'm not that scientific on this, but it is a heavyweight material, and so at 220 grams, you would expect it to be heavyweight. Anything below that is going to feel much lighter. So the idea behind the cotton weight material is pretty simple. The inner lining that touches your skin, it's an 18.5 micron merino wool build, which means it's pretty darn soft. If you guys have other merino type qualities or merino type materials or t-shirts or other garments, 18.5 is pretty darn good in terms of microns, and what that helps with is the lower the micron, the more comfortable it's going to be and softer it's going to feel to the skin. So to put that into comparison, if you do have the ultrafine merino tee, that is at a 17.5, so it's even lower. And to me, this merino feels really, really good. Then on the outer skin of this is where you have cotton on the outside, and that's to give it that structure that you would need so that it doesn't just completely drape down. And honestly, for a stockier guy like me, not having that drape of wool really, really helps out in terms of making it look better on me. And so that's why I personally really like the cotton weight. So let's talk a little bit about the uniqueness of the construction. There's two main things about this specific t-shirt that is super, super cool. The first thing is that it has a twisted hem. I don't think a lot of people will like this about it just because it kills the symmetry, but I really, really like the fact that one side is actually angled, so where the stitching is on one side is angled forward, and then the other side is actually angled towards the back. And so the sides actually look different depending on whether or not you're looking at the front or side of the shirt, instead of just kind of straight down the middle. I like that aspect, other people might not. The second thing I want to talk about is that the fact that this is a garment dyed t-shirt. Garment dyed means it's actually done after the garment is actually made. So what happens in your typical construction is you'll get yarn or some type of material, and it's already dyed, and you make the material based on with the dyed material already done. So more than likely, this was completely white after the garment was made, and then they would actually dip it into some type of dye afterwards with the full garment there, exactly already created and then they would take that and probably give it to you, right? And that's what they sold it to me as a garment dyed product, which makes it look a little more vintagey. You can see that after washing it, it looks a little more vintage than your typical tee. And I like that aspect. One of the other brands that does a lot of garment dyeing, so if you want another reference point, is actually a brand called Stone Island, and I do have some of their stuff as well. And I do like the kind of more, I don't know, authentic, organic feel of garment dye sometimes. It just depends on the type of look I'm going for, but I personally like it a lot. Some people might not. On the style front, I really like the way this looks, specifically on me. It really fills out everything almost perfectly. The shoulders feel great. To kind of recap my size, I'm 39.5 across, and I'm a size medium in this. And the sizing chart is something that helped me out in terms of getting the right size initially. So I'm really glad Outlier did a really great job in terms of making the sizing perfect. But for the most part, because it is a boxer cut and the hem is definitely a little shorter, for shorter guys, for the style, and really the structure of the t-shirt itself, instead of really moving or showing all these moves, it kind of just shows my chest, which is really great. And I really love that about this specific t-shirt. I think even more importantly, it just hugs me really well, and it's really comfortable. I really like the fact that it has this structured feeling, and you can actually see it in the material, and you can definitely see it when you wear it. I feel like the sleeves are exactly perfect for me. It just shows enough of the guns, and it just, I don't know, for me it's a really almost like perfect tee. I wish they could make a more lightweight version of this for the summertime, but I can understand why, if you have two very great materials that they're going to push together, that it's going to be a little heavier weight, and it kind of needs to be. And then, so what do I use this t-shirt for? I would say that for the most part, I've been using it in both hot weather as well as colder weather. I've had it for I think it's since close to the beginning of quarantine, so probably like the March, April timeframe, which is the last time I believe they released this. And for me, I have worn this a lot. And my use case is pretty much whenever I feel like putting on a comfortable t-shirt or something that looks good. It's not the best for humid climate weather. I'm actually in Mexico right now, and I actually overheated in this thing. I actually learned this when I first got here, despite the fact that it's a t-shirt. The merino and the cotton don't necessarily make it easy for it to breathe, and it definitely retains some of that heat. So I don't recommend this in hot, humid weather, or even really hot weather, but still, I would still wear it if I know that I'm gonna be in an air-conditioned place, just because I feel like it's a great fit. And that's it, guys. This is Lawrence again from Urban Trekker. Really enjoyed making this video. If there's other information that you want about this tee, leave that in the comments below. If there are specific things you want me to go over in future iterations of t-shirts and shorts or whatever else, also leave that in the comments below so I know what to focus in on that will make it a better video for you guys, and also so that I can actually just create content that just resonates with the people that are watching it. And if you really feel generous, hit that subscribe button for future videos, and give this video a thumbs up to make that algorithm trek on up. All right, thank you guys. Until next time, peace.